Hello and welcome back to another Diabetic Wittering. With me, Michael Jex, the tea-drinking author who has got a cup of Assam. And very nice it is too. Now, last week I went away on a cycling ride with some friends and I was a little bit concerned. So I inserted one of these, an Abbott Laboratories Libra Freestyle 2, into my arm. That arm, actually. Oops. And it gave me continual glucose measurements all the time I was cycling. And it was quite interesting because basically my blood glucose didn't go particularly low or particularly high. It was quite good, apart from the last couple of days. And in the last day, we had breakfast in a fairly cheap Brittany hotel. It was lovely. But for breakfast, all they had was rolls or croissant. They didn't have any ham or eggs or anything that I could eat. So, owing to the fact we had to cycle a fair distance, I had 3 bread rolls with butter and an apple. I had an apple. I don't think it was the apple that caused my blood sugars to spike. They went more than double, considerably more than double. And this was the thing that I was really most concerned about all the time when I was planning going away. That was the dog, I think, rattling things then. So when I got back, I did have a fairly lengthy chat with Mark, my local diabetic nurse. And he said, "Oh, don't worry about that. That's a brief spike. That's fine. It's not really a problem." So that was sort of a relief, although it still seemed like one hell of a spike to me. But it does, as far as I'm concerned, show the benefit of having these little doohickeys implanted in your arm. Not just for daily use, but especially if you're going away and doing something, as I did, about 150 miles on a push bike over 3.5–4 days. Because you need to keep track of what's actually going on. But Abbott are not the only firm that make these things. I mean, my standard testing device is this, which is the usual thing. You stab yourself, draw off a drop of blood, and measure how much sugar is in there. It's a lot easier with one of these. These things are, as far as I can tell, reliable. You can calibrate it by checking what it's actually doing with one of your standard finger stabby things. But just recently I was watching somebody else's YouTube video who talks about diabetes, and he mentioned that he'd got one of these. Now, I'd never heard of these things, but I thought, well, it looks interesting, so I ought to have a look at it. So this is a freebie sample for those like me who want to test out different devices. So this is a CGM system. It says continual glucose monitoring system model G51 from the Shenzhen Sensing Company Limited. So it's a Chinese device. It says it's got Bluetooth real-time updates. It has continuous monitoring for up to 14 days. So timescale exactly the same. It says, what does it say there? It's got very light grey writing, and with my maculopathy and retinopathy, both diabetic, it's difficult to differentiate. High-low glucose alerts and no finger pricks. Oh, there you go. That's nice. Anything that means you don't have to stab yourself routinely is quite an appealing concept. So let's see what's inside the box. I haven't actually opened this yet. So it says scan the code for an instructive video before use. So you can scan that and you'll get a video on how to use it. For the user guide, that's nice. Inside, we have a plastic box with 2 devices. We also get, let's just have a look here, we get a quick start guide and some sort of additional cover, which I assume is just to make sure it's waterproof when you're in the shower and so on. Now, I've never had a problem with these things. I've worn them in the shower, I've worn them in a bath, and they've never given me a problem, but I know a lot of people have started using them. So it says here, instructions for use of medical adhesive pad. So it's a medical adhesive pad. There you go. Certificate of conformity. Whatever that means. So, we have a medical adhesive pad, we have user instructions, and then we have these 2 things. Now, what are these exactly? Well, until I've checked in the instructions, I probably won't know. So, I'm going to go and read the instructions now, because I haven't seen them yet, and then I'll get back to you. Shortly, hopefully. And I'm back. So, the instructions seem remarkably similar to the instructions on the Freestyle. And apart from the fact that the shape of the thing apparently is oval, it's remarkably similar to the Freestyle. So, you've got the age-old process, select where you're going to put it, wipe your arm with an alcohol cleaner, take the lid off that pack. Caution, the pack should be put on a flat desktop. There you go. This is flat. Second, take the cap off the device that shoves this thing onto your arm. Push the 2 together. Exactly the same so far as Abbott Laboratories. Then when it looks like that, you're ready. Don't know what this, if it's looking like this, it's ready to apply. If it looks like this, it isn't. What does that mean? Does that mean it changes colour and it goes red? I don't know. Very odd. Unless there's some sort of white casing that protects the needle. Perhaps that's what it means. Don't know. Anyway, there's a safety clip. Remove the safety clip. Put it on your arm. Push hard and the thing will be there. And then there's all sorts of stuff here about how to get your information on your phone, etc. Your sensor automatically stops working after 14 days and must be replaced. You should also replace your sensor if you notice any irritation or discomfort at the application site. Oh, well, that's reassuring, isn't it? Pull up the edge of the adhesive that keeps your sensor attached to your skin. Slowly peel away from your skin in one motion, which basically means yank it off. So that's that. As I said, almost identical to this. Now, why have I asked for this sample? Well, the main reason for asking for the sample is so I've got another one to test. It's fun. And they did send me 2, which was nice of them. So they obviously want me to test them properly. Why not just stick with these? There's no reason why you shouldn't stick with these. But as a diabetic who is not type 1, I have to buy my own sensors. These ones are 50 quid for 2 weeks use. I've banged on about this before. That means you're paying 1,200 quid a year if you want to use these. These ones, I don't know how much they are. There's no price anywhere that I can see. I've been checking on the internet, but I will update you here as soon as I find out. What I do find irritating, and I mean really irritating, is when you're paying 50 quid for something like this, you would have thought they could easily throw in a 1 penny or 1 cent antiseptic wipe to go with it, wouldn't you? We don't keep these things as standard. So every time I get a new ruddy CGM monitor, I have to go rootling around in our medicine cabinet to see if I can find any. And that I just find tight-fisted and really mean. Why can't they just put in a couple of these with every monitor, so that everyone who gets them knows that they open the box and they're ready to go to get everything done? It just makes no sense to me. Anyway, so let's see how this goes and put on a new monitor. Here we go. One antiseptic wipe. I'm going to put it down on the same arm as I usually use because it just makes sense to me. Clean it all up. Make sure I don't get gangrene. Don't fancy that. So, arm done. Lid off this thing with the other hand because I've injured that finger because I was damn clumsy using a mandolin the other day. That's what it looks like inside. Interesting. Then we get this device and pull off the base. And that's what that looks like inside. Now you marry the two up together and they can only fit one way. There's a little sticking out nub here which fits into a slot here. Won't go round the other way because it's not a perfect oval. It's slightly pointed at one end. So you do that. Press the sensor applicator firmly down on the back until it comes to a stop. So you just press down. Ow. I have pressed down. It has now sunk in. So now you pull it out. And I cannot tell if that's right or not. There is no pink colour to it. It's just a white looking thing, just like that. Let's just try again by pressing it together. Sorry about any noise there. I can only assume that is correct. So then you shove it onto the area where you've already cleaned and push hard. Oh no, you don't. You take off the safety. I forgot that. Aha! One safety removed. Put it on your arm. This is the bit I'm always worried about. And press. Oh. That was much easier than I anticipated. There's some sort of spring-loaded mechanism in here so that when you press, it only has a very short travel, look. But you can see where it is there, and then when you press it, it comes all the way out there. So it sort of punctures you without any difficulty at all. Okay, that was really easy. Now the next thing is you have to wait a while after your sensor's inserted. I'm going to have to load up all of this on my iPhone, start using the Sibionics app, and in 2 weeks' time I can give you a full report on how it's all gone. We will find out. Should I use this thing? Why not? Might as well have a look at it. If I can open it. I was doing a Jeremy Clarkson the other day. I was using a mandolin and my wife said, oh, do use the guard because you might injure yourself. And I said, don't be silly, I'm not going to. And as I said that, my thumb caught the mandolin. So my thumb is now rather weak and painful. So here we go, instructions for use. The writing is incredibly small, so we'll retrieve the trusty magnifying glass, and it says, instructions for use. Make sure the adhesive pad is placed directly centered over the sensor. Tear off the release paper at both ends. Smooth it out across the skin until it's flat and secure. Right, so there you go. I see, so it's a sort of elastoplast type of thing, I assume. Ah, so you put it on you and then you pull these two things, that end, and that fixes it in place. That's clever. I like that. Trouble is, of course, it's in a location where you can't see what on earth is going on. Let's just try to get that central. It may be better to try doing this with someone else who can assist, because it may be better to try doing this with someone else who can actually get it over the thing. Ah, there we go. So now just pull this tab. No, that's not working, so try this tab instead. That comes off like that. That's nice and easy. And then just smooth it all down, and then pull this tab. And we have a nice, I assume, waterproof covering. That's quite neat, I like that. Right, so back in 2 weeks to let you know how it goes. I've now got this week to test it all. The following week I'm running a Smithsonian Journeys tour, during which I will be stumbling around the whole of the UK with some delightful people who want to come out and find out more about mystery writing in the UK. That will be great fun. I always enjoy these tours. It's good to get out of the office. And there goes the phone. Right, that's all. Hope that was interesting and informative. And if you've got any questions, do please hit the thing down the bottom. I'll be delighted to answer any questions you might have. In the meantime, thanks a lot for watching. If you'd like to help support the channel, there's a Patreon link down the bottom. You can buy me a coffee, you can like it, share it, subscribe, hit the bell button, all those good things. You know what I'm talking about. And apart from that, thanks very much, and I'll speak to you in 2 weeks' time.